Corrie. What have you been doing this weekend?
Well, almost got into an accident the other day.
Really? Again?
Yeah, that was fun. Car jumped right out in front of us.
Oh my goodness. How are your brakes?
Really good, thank goodness.
Oh, good. So, tell us, what's going on?
Well, welcome to the Baking It Down podcast, a group on Facebook from the Sugar Cookie Marketing Group.
Nice. So, what do we talk about?
What are we going to talk about today?
Oh, what was that?
That was weird. Okay, what were you saying? You don't know how to drive?
Yeah, I said I do know how to drive.
You speed and you get pulled over?
No, I'm having my husband pull you over.
What is this?
Well, welcome to the Baking It Down with Sugar Cookie Marketing Podcast. This is your host, I think.
It's actually four of us. If you thought we were twins, we're revealing today that we're actually quadruplets. There's Heather and Corrie and other Heather and other Corrie. But actually, and I'm going to switch seats here in a second, it's Kim and Heather. And Kim and Heather have quite a fascinating story. And you guys begged to have not us on the podcast.
Yeah, welcome.
We have answered your prayers. They've actually flown in for this. So if that's not dedication, the rest of you can get your butts here to Northern Virginia. So I'm going to switch real quick over. Corrie and I are going to sit over there. Kim and Heather are going to sit over there in the hot seats. And we're going to interview them about how to get on TV and how to run a brick-and-mortar franchise out of good old Texas.
Take me out of the hot seat. I'm ready to go.
Okay, guys, we're back to our respective seats. However, this is the first time we've had four people on the podcast, which means two more pieces of equipment I'm not used to.
Yeah.
Not like you guys have cared about the blurry images on YouTube, but it could be again this time. So I can't even see Kim. Corrie can, but we're going to jump into kind of an interrogation, of sorts, to kind of ask you your story, and then tie it back into how it's affected your marketing. So let's just jump in, because let's pretend nobody's ever heard of you guys. If you guys don't know Kim and Heather, they're the ones who run the happy hours at CookieCon. So they're other Heather and other Corrie at CookieCon, right? So if you've been to any CookieCon and been to any sugar cookie marketing happy hour, these are the two that are always there. Heather is a Disney trip planner.
As well as a baker. And Kim has fluttered her wings
in the most stressful. So both of these girls are actually in the cookie college, and Kim has broken down to us over the time of opening this brick and mortar, of which you just passed a year in.
Yep.
Crazy. Love it. Also, I like your hair.
I'm just going to open up with the most important question. Who is your favorite twin?
You guys, I'm the editor, so whatever you say.
No, I'm just kidding. We're just going to dive in. I know that we don't have a ton of time, and we could go on and on about what we can talk. Forgive me, I do have a cold, and that's why these other Heather and other Corries have stepped in. If you didn't know, Heather, Campbell, Brookshire, how many times have you been on
Food
TV?
Network.
On Food Network, 3.5.
You say that in a way that you've been on more than just Food Network.
Yeah, my husband and I were on Good Morning America. We got pulled on the live Good Morning America on our honeymoon.
No way!
Yeah. That was a rush.
That's crazy. So when it came to the Food Network, there's a lot of bakers who would love to be on the Food Network. That is just a cool thing to say that you've been on the Food Network.
Yes.
What was the process that you had to go about? Is it like an application process? Is it once you're in, you're in? Are they scouting? Is there scouts out there?
Yes, there are scouts out there. So we've seen in the group people sometimes post like, is this for real? Like they dropped into my Instagram DMs and like, yes, generally that is for real.
So Instagram DMs are the scouting process.
It's part of it, yes.
Okay.
And then like kind of if you know someone or if someone you know has been on Food Network, then they may put your name forward.
Question. You've been on how many times on Food Network?
3.5.
3.5.
I gotta understand this half.
I got it too.
Was it your legs or your upper part?
So the half came from when we were alternates one time. So we went through the whole process and then got all the way there and never got to go to the studio.
But you were in case a team dropped out.
Yes.
You were right there.
Yes, because this was pretty, like as we were coming out of COVID, I think it was 2021.
Okay,
yeah.
smart.
And then, because I was on in 2019, we were alternates 2021. On in 2022 and then on in 2024.
Now that you've been on so many times, and I'm asking questions as the inquisitive other people listening, is it because you've been on one time that they're likely to come back and be like, could you do that? That went really well. Could we have you again? Or are you saying, hey girl, call me?
They can. It can go both ways. Okay. So the second time, so let me back up. The first time I was an assistant to like the main person and she invited me to come.
Oh, nice.
So we were not cast as a team. She invited me to come, so I didn't have to go through like the first part of being cast
because she had already done the casting part,
and then she called me up and said, would you want to come and do this for me?
Wild.
Yeah.
So that's how you got in, not an Instagram DM.
Right. For the very first time. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was that a Christmas cookie challenge?
That one was, the names are so long.
I know.
And like they're very close together. The last one was Christmas Cookie Challenge, and the first one was Holiday Gingerbread Showdown.
I know you have to do
wow.
gingerbread. Okay,
Yeah.
pause on you.
Yeah.
Kim,
Yes.
you in the last year have taken on, which is probably not a year in the making. It's probably been a couple years in the
Been
making.
about 3 years of work now.
3 years. So now, are you allowed to tell us what the franchise is, or do you want to give that
Yeah.
on?
It's Beans and Brews
Beans and
Coffee
Brews.
House.
And they're based out of Texas, and they're a
They're
larger.
not based out of
No.
Texas.
No.
They're not.
So they're actually based out of Utah. I grew up with the coffee, loved their coffee, all of that. And then when we moved to Texas, I couldn't find any good coffee. It tasted like dirt water to me.
Dirt water.
And so I would just get the beans shipped in and make it at home.
You were so extra.
I know, I am.
Extra.
I'm not addicted to coffee. I'm addicted to Beans and Brews. I've said
Ah.
that forever. I actually have 2 Stanleys that are Beans and Brews logos that they sold that are 18 years old now.
No. Oh, so you were
Yes,
you were
I was a
believer.
Stanley forever.
Yeah.
So
You were
you're
a
an
girl.
original Beans and Brews girl, original Stanley. Okay.
Yes.
How many Beans and Brews franchises are in Texas then?
So right now, I think San Antonio just opened their 3rd, so that would be 6. And then there's the 7th and the 8th coming very shortly.
And
as
how
well.
many franchises total? Do you know? This is a quiz question.
It's
I'm
up
only reporting
into
to your
the
franchises. 80s. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And then how many years has it been around?
So it started in 1993 is
Damn.
when the Laramie brothers decided to open their own coffee shop after their own failed franchise. So
Oh, wow.
and
Okay.
they went and they learned how to roast their own beans. I hope I'm not telling their full story, but they went into Nevada to learn how to roast their own beans, and then they brought it back into Utah, and what they didn't account for was the high altitude. So then they had to remake the process, just like how I learned to bake in the mountains, and then now I'm at sea level in Texas. I have to redo everything, all the recipes, and then they learned the trick and the beauty of roasting at high altitude. So that's what makes it different.
I love it. So both of you, question. Where were you before this? Where were you before Food Network? And what were you doing before
Beans and Brews?
Like, what were you baking? And where did you start from in terms of like cottage bakery? And then how'd you land here? So Heather, you want to start?
So I've always known that I wanted to be a baker and do all the decorating and things. So, I mean, I started baking when I was in high school.
Wow.
And then the old school Wilton classes
Yeah.
from Michael's Hobby Lobby, I took
Yeah.
those when I was 12.
Oh, little baby Heather.
So I've been decorating for a really long time. And then I went to culinary school right out of high school, worked through 3 different bakeries in Houston. That was over a 10-year period. And then once they passed the cottage laws, then I jumped off and started doing my own thing, which
way.
my bakery is called The Cake Whisperer, and it is turning 10 years old
Wow.
in October.
Congratulations.
which
That's
I can't believe.
Yeah.
So cottage baking, 10 years come October.
Yes.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Kim,
So I just loved baking as a kid, but I never liked to do the dishes, so my dad wouldn't really let me. Right? And so got married, had a kid, got a degree in psychology as well, had another kid, and then in 2020, obviously, people were always asking me, can I see, do you have a business card? Can I buy something from you? And I'm thinking that you have to be perfect to be able to start a bakery. So
Yeah.
I just was like, no. And then in 2020, I was sick. I just had a newborn and the whole world was collapsing.
Yes.
So
Recall it. I recall
I
it very
decided to, in October,
so funny. Happy early birthday.
Were you staring at some competition there?
so I'm 5 years behind her, but I'm celebrating my 5th in October.
Oh, that's
6th.
great.
Yeah.
So we got 5 years, 10 years, 1 year physical brick and mortar, which is a wild ride.
Mm-hmm.
Because when is that? Its birthday? Did it just pass?
Yeah, so our soft opening was the 9th of August, and then our grand opening was the 24th?
Yeah. Yesterday.
Because yesterday was like the anniversary of
Wow.
the grand opening.
Wow.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
been a wild ride of a year.
Yes.
I think we've all ridden the ride. I'm wilded out listening to it. Okay, to set more groundwork though, what is your primary bestseller before the brick and mortar and like what you would have said a year ago? Like, what were you like, this is my bread and butter, this is what I sell primarily. I know you're bringing under bread.
Yeah, I mean, but that's only during like Christmas.
Yeah, sure.
Christmas
Your name
time.
is the Cake Whisperer.
So,
Yes, so I do. Yeah, cakes
Yeah.
is more. I do more cakes than I do cookies.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I do more cookies than cake.
And now to kind of fuse this together, how did you two find each other? Because it's not there. They're not here for no reason together.
The extrovert found the introvert.
Well, you know,
Who's
the
been on
way
TV and never says
wild,
she won't
wild.
ever do it.
Can't
I
really
asked
on
her to
TV with
copy.
enough peer pressure.
So you guys didn't know each other. You guys
No.
were hop, skip, and jump. How far are you guys away from each other right now currently?
About 15 minutes.
About 15
bad.
minutes. And there
Yeah.
did you guys know each other existed?
But you meet through a networking event.
kind of.
Kind
So first off, I was listening to some podcast.
Oh, I heard there's annoying girls on
Yes.
that. Yeah.
And they were talking about working and networking with other bakers to make sure that you could give orders to other ones when you're not available. And I was getting orders for things that I can't do because I am a nut-free, allergy-friendly
Yeah,
baker. I wanted someone who I can send those inquiries
Nutty
about.
people too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Lucky
so we were both in the same networking group, but different houses of what they call it. So different
Okay, yeah.
groups. but
Like
all-
chapters.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I was connecting with some of them, trying to find other bakers I can talk to, invite them to coffee. That one said yes, and then I haven't let her go.
So they actually call each other ESBs. Which
Emotional
stands
support
for-
bakers.
Yeah.
Emotional support bakers, because whenever there's a problem, you two are like, hey girl, let me talk me through this, talk me off the ledge,
All the
talk
time.
me down the wall.
And like last December, something was happening at the shop, and she was going to be baking for our class, and she just called me and she's like, I need you to bake. And like in 2 seconds, I knew like, okay, it's like I wasn't planning on it, but okay, it's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I can move things around. I got this.
Teamwork truly makes the dream work.
Yes. And then I ended up getting sick, and she ended up having to teach the class alone.
These two
Yes.
are a great example. And I know whenever it's like, yes, I come here and have a competition, like not necessarily come into my kitchen and steal my work, but
Yeah.
as much as like, hey, we can both be buddies and expand our offerings. Because I know you teach cookie classes together. Because like Corrie and I say, like, I obviously can't bake and she can't talk.
You could if you tried. I
So, but when we combine our efforts, we're able to not only handle more capabilities, we're able to handle more people in a class. Marketing is
Yes.
half. Marketing efforts, you know, if you're sick, she's got it. If you leave the icing, she's got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is why I like when you guys talk about your emotional support bakers, besties, because it's saying like, it's not like I'm halving my dollar. It's like I'm able to earn $2 instead of $1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have so many, like there was one time, Heather, she's at the airport ready to get
Oh
on
my
a
gosh.
plane, and the Uber driver had stolen her order that she had.
This is a really
sent.
interesting story. Some context. Heather needs to go on a cruise.
Yes.
But she has taken a last minute order. She's not able to deliver it, but hires an Uber that does the courier service and
Yeah,
says
so
just drop it off.
Cookies are baked. They're going to a
Yeah.
customer.
Well, and this is round 2. So I had messed up and misspelled a name.
Sorry, it was a high stakes situation. And she was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to do right. I'm going to rebake it. I'm going to
Right.
have it delivered.
Yes.
But when the Uber leaves her cul-de-sac, it cancels the order and disappears into the foreverness.
Yep.
he said,
Now
"Ooh,
get
these
this.
look real good."
So
Oh,
now,
real good.
now this client is out 2 orders. You're on the plane.
I'm at the airport.
You're at
like
the
there's
airport.
there's no more time. I cannot remake again.
There's no other we have
Yeah.
truly run out of options except for one reveals behind a door.
Yes.
Name
Who's
Kim.
already baking for the class that's the next day.
that's-
I'm gonna
yes.
miss anyways. And I'm like, can you do a little bit more? And it's the same situation. Like she knew as soon as she picked up the phone, she's like,
yeah, this is
I'm
not
like,
a.
why are
I
you
didn't even
calling
have-
me? You should be on a plane.
I didn't even
Right.
have to. I didn't get the words out, and she was like, I'll do them. Like I
And
explained to
see-
her what happened, and she's like, I'll do them.
Could you imagine people listening in podcast land to have that backup if you need it? And I'm sure you've done paid her back 50 times for taking that on. But just to be able to be like, I'm not alone, which is this could be a very lonely road to hoe, right? It could be very isolating. You know, of course, we're all hiding from our clients doing porch pickles, right? But then you're like, there's no one to talk shop with in a cottage
Right.
bakery. But then you go out, you risk it for the biscuit. Hey, I could partner with this person. They could steal, you know, that whole thing. They're stealing my ideas. They're copying everything I do. Or this other perspective of you have backup. And
Yes.
a person who gets it, a person who understands icing, a person who understands that we never knew Uber would take the cookies and run, but they did. And you get almost like a sigh of relief, a backup plan, a backup to my backup.
Yeah,
Yes.
because without that, you would have had one irate customer in your hand.
Right. Well, and I had, I was fully prepared to refund
Yes.
and like all
Yeah.
these things because obviously, and it was because there was a cake and cookies. They
Yeah.
picked up the cake and the cookies the day before, realized that the name on the cookies was wrong, which was half the cookies, which was 18 cookies.
That's a lot of cookies.
So I'm like, oh no. So then of course they were like Eddie assisted.
Yeah.
So I just message her the Canva
fantastic.
files and like, here's what it is, just print them and write over it and like, you're good to go. And I think it was like a plaque and something else. So like the shapes weren't even an issue either.
And the people who are listening, at the end of the day, Heather could have just refunded it in that. But the customer's still out. The people are coming to the party. The kids are wanting to eat something with a name on it.
Yes.
So it's just nice that you have this baker backup. Say that 5 times fast. That can aid in your help, and that's why those community groups, those local baker community groups that you can find. We have one up here. It's called the Nova Social Baker Collective. And everyone's in there like, hey, I took an order. I'm not going to be able to fulfill it. Can I pass it on to somebody? It's been really handy for that.
And we're lucky that we have one where we live too. It's called the Cypress Bakers Network.
Yes.
Bakers love things that rhyme. A lot of S and less E's.
Here's what I'm going to say, because some of you guys right now are thinking, well, I don't have that in my area. Or all the bakers in my area, the root or the meat. Try it. Start it. Start the one.
Just
start
invite
the
to coffee.
Invite to coffee.
That's all you got to do.
You never know, like, and it's, a numbers game, right?
Yes.
Invite 5 and you might get 1. Invite
Yes.
10, you might get 2.
That's why I always say, like, maybe how we run the marketing group or the cookie group, it doesn't jive with you. But there's other groups out there that will jive with you. And it's really, throw your net out there, see what you catch, throw it back in and see if you catch it again. So if you're hearing this and be like, my area doesn't, you could be the one. Because, I hate to say it, it does take effort to run groups. It does put your neck out there and have an event and nobody shows up, could hurt your feelings. However, I think if we say like, we're all busy, just keep trying it. Don't take it as a personal like failure, as rather I just timed that one incorrectly. How can I just the same way we do it in marketing?
Yeah. I always say at the end of the day, we all are working with the same 24 hours and 2 hands. Lord willing, for the 2 hands part. At the end of the day, I can only take so many orders. 50,000 people could be knocking at my door and I would have to turn 49,000 away, right? So to have those people that I could depend on say, hey, I'm not going to be able to take care of this customer, but I want them to still have a good experience. I know you run your business similar to the way that I run it. Do you mind taking them? Because I think you could knock it out of the ballpark. If I could say, sorry, I'm booked. And then that's the end of the sentence.
Right.
And then I guess I got to go find somebody else. Or I could be the person like, hey, I'm so sorry that I'm booked. Here's some fantastic bakers. And really create that relationship. Because look at what the relationship has blossomed into.
And I will say, for me, I wish there was more allergy-friendly bakers. Because there's a lot of time, for me, it stops and ends with me. If I'm not available or, I can't fit it in and it hurts because there's no one to send them to that I know is safe, nut-free, and all of that.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to be in that place, and people are so much more willing to go back to you if you send them somewhere else.
Yeah, I love that. And if you find, like, maybe you're like, I'm not cut out yet to have somebody who's my direct competition also be my bestie, find this one where she's allergy-free and she's not, and you're not even really taking from the same target.
Right.
If you listen to the podcast last week, how many diamond stores can be at Tyson's Mall, which you guys will see after this when we go to Tyson's Mall for lunch. A ton can, because they are not sharing the exact target, and as such, they're no longer in competition. They're fighting a different battle, selling a similar product, but you can see that between these two, we've got an allergy-friendly, and we've got cakes and cookies. Right? So it's the same, but it's different, and they both can survive. Right. Now, back to the interrogation. I wish I had one light and put it right over there. Okay, how has being on Food Network impacted? Now, we did I did the live roast, the roast and toast, and you got selected, and I saw on your Instagram, you put, hey, I'm on the Food Network, which I compliment because that is social proof.
Yes.
Just for the fact, the way we integrate with TV, right? We're like, wow, you guys can see how easy a podcast is to run now. But people are like, wow, there's a podcast. I have a fascination with anyone who's been on TV. In fact, Ruth Ann, I'm like, this is the one that's been on TV. And she's like, the one on TV? So how has it impacted your marketing? Do you find that it has generated leads? Do you find it converts more leads? Do you find it has no impact at all, but it was a cool story to tell?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I see where now that I've done it a few times, like I see where the spikes are. So usually the year after it's aired is much bigger than the year before. So 2022 was one thing, and then into 2023, huge spike. 2024 cooled a little bit, waiting for it to air. And then now this year has just been like broken all kinds of records.
When you
been
film
insane.
versus when it airs, what's the distance of time there?
It depends. It's anywhere from 3 months to mine has not been this long, thankfully, a year to a year and a half.
No
Oh my
way.
goodness.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Like I had to hold mine for 6 months.
Because you can't talk to us about it. I know you were like, I can't tell you guys anything. Don't ask me. I'll have to murder you after this.
Yeah.
But you were like, I'm going underground. Don't look for my body. Like that was kind of how it is.
There's like a handful of people who like know that I'm gone.
Yes.
Because obviously like you have to tell your family and like people that you work with. So like Kim had to
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But of course I can't tell anything that happens. Like my husband knew what happened.
Sure.
Are you allowed to tell them?
Yes. I mean, you can tell your significant other. I mean, there's, could you imagine holding in a secret like that for 6
I've
months
never
from
said-
absolutely
Oh
everyone?
yeah. Whenever
never
time I go
seen
to TJ Maxx, man never knows.
I've never met a secret I didn't want to tell somebody.
Yeah, it was so hard, and she came to my house trying to look
Good job.
for the
Yeah,
ornament.
good job.
And thankfully,
Yes.
I had it, and she did not
They
find
let you
it.
keep the
There-
ornament there.
Yeah.
Were you
So-
like, am I warm? Am I close?
There were times that I'm just
She would
like,
come and
where
just,
is
like,
it
meander
hidden?
around.
Is she,
I would do like
she just
this,
left me
Heather.
alone. Is this smart?
If you had hid an ornament, where would you think you'd hide it?
Oh, I was bribing her husband, everything.
You have to do this.
Those chocolate chip cookies, that would have got me to tell a secret.
It was he.
did.
Yeah.
I tried it.
So-
He's strong.
Question for you. A lot of bakers, that's like their ultimate, like if I ever was on TV, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Would you, from someone who's been on it, think that, if you get the opportunity, go for it? Or do you think it's maybe not for every single baker? Or is there a certain time in your baking life that you'd be like, yeah, go for it?
There's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot to process when you're going through all of this. And for me in particular, because it kind of depends on the show that you're on, I had to do a lot of prep work before.
Okay.
So all the gingerbread, except I've only ever been on for gingerbread. And so every time I had to prep the gingerbread and bake it and stuff and bring it with me, which means
Okay, so
I had a suitcase full of gingerbread that I was checking.
You would
everything.
have fly it with you.
But this is part of the show because if you watched it, when the gingerbread's broken, they were like, dun-dun-dun, right?
Yes.
It was integrated as the drama.
So, and I don't think they showed it on the second one. I did arrive with a couple of broken pieces that I had, and I kind of knew that if anything was going to break, it was going to be those.
Yeah.
So I was prepared. And then later on in that episode, I knocked something off. So I actually did break something like on set.
Did they show it on the?
Oh yes.
Oh.
They made a big deal of it. There was a
Drama.
commercial break
Yeah.
and everything. As we're watching it, like, of course I know it happens. She screams.
Was that the time I fell out of my chair, or was that the time before? Yeah, I fell out of my chair. I just like fell on the floor.
But you're watching this 3 months after
Yeah.
it's been filmed.
Yes.
Okay, question just for people curious. How long are you gone to do the recording?
Typically 5-ish days, and that's like
5
with
days.
travel and doing all of the interviews and stuff that you have to do with it too.
So question, are you reimbursed for traveling or is that out of pocket?
No, you're reimbursed for that because they want to keep the playing field level for everyone. So if you can't like afford to go, they
Right.
don't
Oh,
want you to be
nice.
out.
So travel, lodging paid for.
Yes.
When
Food covered?
Oh yeah, per
So
diem?
yeah, you get a stipend plus you're eating on set or something depending on what the shooting schedule
Okay.
is.
So really, honestly, for bakers who maybe do this baking part-time and they have a full-time job, you'd be taking about a week off,
Yes.
which is...
Would you tell somebody with full-time job hobby baking? Maybe not.
It just depends.
Yeah.
Because you also kind of had to put your life on hold for possibly up to 3 weeks. Depending on the show, you either
Because
are
of the
going to be
prep.
there for 3 weeks or you don't know until like you're in the final pool when that actual date is.
So it's a floating thought that you'd have to take off.
Yes,
is
so
there
you
as
have to
well.
like be careful of orders in that time.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're getting closer and closer.
Watch
And
out, Kim.
So people are trying to, yeah, I mean, like I'm sure that I handed some stuff off to you.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
And we helped, and
yeah.
Crazy. Sorry,
Yeah.
someone liked the page or unliked the page.
And I came, actually this last one I came back, I got back on Friday, and we had a class on Saturday.
Oh my soul.
it was killing me.
Oh, I would have just said. So as far as like someone, it seems like 'tis the season is when these DMs start popping up and we see them coming to the group and asking them,
Tis the Food Network.
"Tis the Food Network season." Is there any way where you'd look back and be like, if I was just starting out and I had a lot of custom orders, I'd probably say no to the Food Network challenge, or would you say I'd hand off all my custom orders and
Because
say yes?
I get to say was featured on Food Network.
Right, yeah, that's a pretty big
It is.
brag to have in this field, right? Like, I go to a lot of cake shows, cookie shows, all that stuff, and, like, having that Food Network badge is a big deal.
Right?
And so, like,
Yeah.
course, after I got mine, after we were on the first time, I got, a Food Network badge for my jacket, and I'm like, yeah, I got the Food Network badge.
It's
And
like
our
a
photo shoot, she's like showing it
yeah.
Fresh ink.
Yeah, so I mean, it's definitely a brag both in our industry and to clients.
It's because clients know the Food Network.
Yes, I mean, like everybody
something-
knows what Food Network
Absolutely.
is.
No question. 3.5 times. So remove the half time. The 3 times, how many times did you win?
Once.
Okay. Did you see an increase in orders even in the times you did not win?
Yes.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So it really does.
Even just
have
being
an
on,
impact.
it doesn't almost doesn't matter if you win. I mean, it's like an extra
Yeah.
that you get.
But
Like I'm a Food
TV
Network winner now.
Yeah.
But you were on the Food Network, still got the bump in sales. And you saw
Yes.
that bump for around almost 12 months following the premiere.
Yes.
So you, as a person, must work well under pressure. Right?
Yeah.
That is.
Kim.
Yes, she does too.
Yeah.
For all the trials and tribulations she's gone through this past year.
Someone who has maybe high anxiety or who is like a super planner, that would be hard for someone
It's
like that.
that part, and even for me, that's very hard because obviously doing the Disney trip planning, like I'm a planner, right?
Yeah,
I plan things months in advance, and here we are. You have to go through this process, which is about 2 to 3 months long, depending, like from start to finish. And it can be weeks in between hearing anything, knowing if you've moved to the next step.
And that must feel like chaos.
Yeah.
Can I ask you this? How many times have you applied and not heard back?
Twice.
Okay, and it's just like, do they say, hey, listen, it's not you, it's us. Fair winds and falls.
You just hear nothing back.
Oh, wow.
Shoot. Okay.
Wow, you
good.
got to be a really strong person, strong in yourself.
Yeah, you just always have to know, like with every step, if you don't hear back in probably 2 to 3 weeks, like it's almost like at the point that you're about ready to give up is like when you'll finally hear back.
Good to knock it out for this.
When you're crying, the tissue box is running out.
Okay, you're insane. Now you're also insane.
Very insane.
So you were like, my life's going too easy. I would like to.
Yeah. two kids, 2 young children, my
Yes.
husband. I want to throw in some chaos.
So 3 years ago, you and the husband, who now you both do this full time,
Right.
Yes.
But you guys were you a full time cottage baker before this?
So I was full-time cottage baker. I had a stay-at-home mom life.
And he was 9 to 5.
Yes.
So 3 years ago, you bring up the idea. I'm thinking it's a you idea, not a him idea.
It was actually kind of a collective idea,
An us
surprisingly.
idea.
So we were kind of looking at what should we invest in, what should we do with our lives, kind of. We now have 2 children. Do I
I
want to
almost
just keep
think it
with
went this way.
baking?
Honey, we're spending too much money on importing your beans. And you're like, I know how we can save it. We can make one.
It was actually a joke of a dream since high school.
Oh.
So I used to say, I want to have a bakery and then next door have a Beans and Brews and then a therapy office in the back. Come
this
in.
is true.
Like, grab your coffee. Let's have therapy on your way back. Like, get a cupcake if it's been really hard. There's a coupon,
I would go to therapy a lot more if there was a cupcake on
Exactly,
the way.
right?
Yeah.
And it was just that time, and we've actually looked and see if Beans and Brews was expanding when we were moving, and they weren't. And when we looked again, they were. So we were kind of inquiring. We went through the application process and all of that, and we just kept talking about it. And what do we want to do? We wanted to have my husband home more because he was working 6 days a week in Houston, like our travel there and an hour back. He was never seeing the kids. And it just kind of grew into are we really doing this? And I guess we are.
We'll pretend this is a cliffhanger. I'm going to have you check that audio thing. And as I'm talking, do you see it spiking there? As I'm saying, wonderful. Okay, I had the random thought just now. What if this is only one-sided? You have to fill in the places where Corrie and I were talking.
So Kim actually did a Facebook Live in the Cookie College. It was I honestly saved it. Where you have your shows. And I was like, I cannot be interrupted. I need to watch
Kim
this.
Kardashian, no, other Kim. It's far more stressful.
So you went through the SBA process, which was not a small feat.
You said it was grueling, I think the word.
It is all the time. It doesn't just leave you. You have to stick up with it. You have to talk about it. Just the whole entire process is insane. What you have to go through. And
You even said, had I known the process, of which opening a brick-and-mortar already sounded like a process, but you were like, it is a process. It was more than you expected it was.
oh yes.
Look at your face. It just, I see you flashback.
As the time is ticking, because you said you started planning this 3 years, the SBA loan's following you through this whole process. And like, as ups and downs go, they're always being like, hey, Kim, remember us?
But they're like in your entire personal life, your finances, because essentially you're saying, I promise I can pay this back based off of no future projection of Beans and Brews, based off of me and my husband.
Yes.
Wow. So he worked through the entire application process, right?
Yes, I did a lot of it, a lot of the heavy lifting until May 2024 is when he finally left his job. So I was doing most of the backbreaking work while doing my business, taking
So you
care
had like
of kids
2 years that was just
Yeah.
literally talking and doing the paperwork side of
So
it.
paperwork, and then you have to do different things with like architects and permitting and all this, like even looking at sites to even go to.
Yeah.
It was a long process.
Was this an outfit of a already built building, or did they build the building?
So it was an outfit of already built buildings.
So you have a landlord as well.
Yes.
Now, because people I'm sure are curious, do you interface with the landlord, or does Beans and Brews franchisor?
So we interface with the landlord. So it's basically on us. We just have this brand. We have these people backing us up for questions and advice and all of that, but it is our business.
Oh.
It is us. So we talk to our landlord. Luckily, we have a individual landlord instead of a big company landlord, which has its pros and cons too.
Sure.
So we talk with him basically when we need to. I mean, it's not really, as long as we pay our rent, we're cool.
Now, the funny story about this Beans and Brews thing is when you open a Beans and Brews franchise, they loan you out an inflatable giant latte.
A giant
Yes.
inflatable latte.
Right. And you have him for what, 3 weeks, a month?
I think we had him for like a month. It depends on like when the other store needs it and all that.
Right. So she comes in and does he have a name?
No.
You never named him?
I know.
Okay. When she comes in, she sees Luke the latte has actually been shot. And that's the most Texas story I think I've ever heard in my life. The only other way is it was been shot by a Bucky's beaver, but
Hey, baby Bucky came by and got mad.
Yeah, you never know.
here's some beaver nuggets for you. Now, question for you. Having experienced the franchise aspect of this, and if somebody in podcast land is like, I've been thinking about this, it's always been in the back of my mind, dream since I was 12, would you tell them to consider a franchise over their own entity?
Yeah, like doing it on their own.
I think it depends on what you are going for.
Okay.
So for me, I knew that I didn't want to do any other coffee shop because I loved their coffee.
Yeah.
I didn't really like any other coffee. I wanted their brand and their beans and all of that. So there was no other way to do it. But you also need to know what type of franchise there is. You have to talk to lawyers to also go through something called an FDD to understand what the franchise is, how they run it. Like, it's kind of, hey, this is the book on our success and our issues or whatever. Here, you have to look through this. And talking with them, because some franchises are more cutthroat and protective. They don't care if you win or lose. They just...
If they get their money, they're...
Yeah.
So, question for you, because I know a lot of people like us, like home bakers listening to this. They're probably like, okay, she went with a franchise that's Beans and Brews, away kind of from the bakery aspect, like a home baker, cottage baker, just opening up. What were you torn there? Or were you like, I know that with Beans and Brews, I can therefore sell my other things through Beans and Brews? Or were you like, coffee, I know it has a cult following?
So, I actually remember this call. I was visiting home because my mom was sick, and I called Heather and I was like, Beans and Brews not only would accept me to sell my, say, baked goods, if it, like, obviously it has to be approved. They want to go to certain standards and stuff like that. If I'm approved, there were some people saying, hey, you can sell to other Beans and Brews. We would be, so talking to them, what would be accepted, what would not, getting kind of what their take on it was. I knew that their chance would be like, no, you're just going to do our stuff, whatever.
Sure, that's a gamble.
But I also knew that, I could do my own pop-ups there if necessary or whatever.
Because you said, like, the guy that runs it, you were on his level. It's not like this like I'm going to open a Starbucks and you're never seeing who Mr. Starbucks is, right? Like you were like, this guy is willing to sit down and talk to me. So Beans and Brews was more of a homebrewed
Yes.
franchise, right?
We call our coffee houses each house. Each house has a house number. And that's the one thing I loved about it as well growing up is it was very tight-knit, cozy. Each Beans and Brews had its own flair, but it was still the same brand.
Yeah.
And I loved that. And I just had
So you saw the
memories.
flexibility growing
Yes.
up.
You can tell, I feel like you can tell a brand and their mission, their values when you go in.
Absolutely, because it feels like a doctor's office at a Dunkin' Donuts. So
I really like that you thought, hey, they might say no to having me wholesale my products there, but I own the franchise. I can do my pop-ups there. I can do my classes there. So it wasn't like I'm turning my back on my home bakery. It was how can I mesh these two things in together? The great thing, if someone's listening and they're new to what a franchise is, it is backed by someone bigger. So there's a lot more marketing that they help you with, things like that. I know you've helped them with marketing, which is great. Fantastic. But the name is out there. Beans and Brews, people know what it is. So it's not like you're having to do a trailblaze, you know.
We are in a way though, because it is a brand new franchise to Houston. We were the first ones in Houston. The only other ones in Texas were in San Antonio, and they were still, I want to say almost like
About 4 hours.
Oh,
about 4 hours.
Yeah. You could get
And they were only
Virginia
8
in
months
4 hours.
behind me.
Oh, so they were still new as well.
So they were still new, and we're still trying to get more recognition in the market too. So it's not been just a easy year. I will tell you that. We are not through, but I'm happy we made it a year.
Yeah.
But it's also, it can grow, and I want to go back and say I haven't actually been able to wholesale my stuff yet to Beans and Brews, but that's changing. Is that in a week?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's in
Wow.
September 1st, the Texas cottage food laws change.
Okay, that's a big thing. You guys are also in Texas, which it seems of all the states cares.
Yes.
You know, the one that kind of seems, and I think it's because you guys organized, which is smart. You guys organized, and it seems like there might be one lady leading it.
Yes.
What's her name? Mary, maybe?
Goodness.
We call her Saint around here in Texas Park.
Did you clone her and send that one over this way?
Kelly Masters.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So you've got somebody really spearheading this and then showing, because every time there's a cottage law change, it's always for Texas, and it's always in kind of favor of the baker.
Now that said, it's taken us 4 times to get this passed. Like last time it was like 9 away from getting to the vote.
It was 7 away from the vote.
It was so close. And then they were like, okay, we're done for today. And like all those other bills that are waiting, that's
we
it.
were
They're
7
done.
away. It turned to midnight, and they're done.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so now you guys get this. What are like the 3 big changes that are coming on September 1st?
So you can now wholesale. You don't have to have your address on the label as long as you register. Thank you, with the state, and then the cap of what you can make has also tripled.
Nice.
Oh, that's
triple. That's great.
So you guys can also ship, and you've been able to ship.
No.
You cannot ship.
No, so there's like kind of a weird gray area with shipping. There's kind of
I can ship to my family.
slight ways around it and stuff, and like none of that changed. So the shipping stuff all stayed the same. Mostly we can't ship.
Okay, so that's your biggest last horizon.
Really? Yeah.
None of us
and I don't know
want
that
to.
most of us
I don't
want
want
to
the shipping thing about, especially with your Texas heat.
It's also very hot.
Yeah.
It's hot. No.
Yeah.
But you guys can accept payment online, which is something Virginia can't do yet.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You're weird, right?
We're working on it. We're archaic over here.
As long as you see the dollar coming at you, you're legal. Last time I've seen a dollar bill in physical form was by accident.
I think I found a quarter on the ground the other day.
So, if you guys could each pass on a nugget, a beaver nugget, so to speak, 2 bakers listening, like I say, whatever sentence comes out of your mouth, every baker would hear it. What would the sentence be? Possibly. The spotlight is on both.
That is very spotlighty.
I would say
Beans and Brews, go try it.
just because if it's a joke of a dream doesn't mean it can't come true.
Oh,
I like that.
yeah.
And I would say just keep going. If something doesn't work this time, tweak something, do it again. If you just keep going and it just does not work for you. So like pre-sales for me, I can't get them to take off. I've tried. And that's fine. But that's just not for me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that's for other bakers. So we've got our network, when it comes to pre-sales, I will refer it to them. But I'm doing just fine with custom orders.
See, I like that perspective because I see a lot of bakers be like, pre-sales don't work. No, pre-sales don't work for you. Like they do work. There's people who build their whole business on pre-sales, but knowing what works for you and leaning into what works for you is going to be successful versus, you can only beat a dead horse so many times before.
Right.
Is that kosher to say?
I'm not sure you're allowed to say kosher to say. But yeah, that's a good one. So you're big, I mean, like you said, gingerbread. Now, I know you do the gingerbread decorating classes.
So we call it a party. We were calling it a workshop. We tweaked it. And we're like, okay, let's do it as a party. That sounds more fun.
Not a bad work bad.
You'll be graded at the conclusion of this gingerbread class on structure and architecture.
Yeah. So it's not structured at all as a class. We build them pre-built. So all they do is come in and they get to basically
they get to do the fun part, the
They get to do the
decorating.
fun part. Yeah. So we provide this basically the same thing that comes in my DIY kits, which is icing, sprinkles, candies. But then we expand it a little bit more and we offer more candy and more colors and stuff to be able to play with.
And then what we do, it was inspired by my daughter because I said after a Halloween kit, she smeared royal icing all over my wall. Of course
she did.
I mean, she was 2 at the time. So we'll give her that. But we were like, I'm not doing this in my home ever again.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, yes, gingerbread house as a mom, this is a mess. I do not want to do this mess.
Absolutely.
But if I go somewhere and they clean up the mess for me, I would pay for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's our major marketing thing is like, hey, bring your family. We'll do all the mess here. And then
Here's
you
what
can
I'm
take
telling
your
you.
piece
That right
home.
there, what they've just mentioned, is their messaging. So why would I not do this at home? Because now they're using, we will clean it up. There will be no mess. It's, no fuss. Leave with the house. We got the icing off the walls.
You're not going to be screaming at your kids when you leave.
Right.
Right?
Now, question back to you. You're here. You're not at Beans and Brews.
No.
Is that stressful to be able to, is it hard to walk away from a brick and mortar?
You
have
yes and no.
employees. Everyone knows she has employees. So.
Yes. We have a phenomenal assistant manager right now who I think it would be harder if we didn't have her. She's still fairly new, but she is rocking it and killing it. Also, my husband is there.
Yeah.
Okay. It is a lot harder. Me and my husband went 45 minutes away just for, a small little family outing. It was the first time because we don't want to, take our kids away from that moment as well. But he still had to go back and help them because there was an emergency. Because when the boss is gone, everything will
I'm sure. Yeah.
the demons come in. So it's interesting. But my staff also know that where I am, they know what I'm doing and they don't want to bother me. So even I know one messaged me and then later she was, oh my goodness, I forgot. Don't worry about this till you get back. And I'm like, it's fine. We're good. It's all good.
I also feel like you have the personality for this, though. I think you're like, you know what? We'll figure it out. Because I've heard your stories in the last year, and some of that stuff would have taken most people to their knees. But you're like, that sucked. I did call Heather. Tears shed. We must go on.
I will say, last week was it was another rough week, and we were just messaging at night, and I was like, I just had a really hard day. And she showed up the next day. She's like, here's a hug. What do you need?
ESB.
I could just feel it.
ESB.
Yeah.
So I know you have your ESB, but you also mentioned that you have a mentor as well.
Yes.
And that's different than Heather.
Yes.
Okay.
So we have a whole team and we rely on them. We have financial advisors. We have a business coach. We have all the people at corporate, I guess you could say. We have so many people that we can rely on because we're not going to know everything.
Sure.
I like that you've created a structure, a support network, and you lean on them respectively. Because I think it would be tough to go from cottage rigor to be like, oh my goodness, like you use the acronym FDD. I'd be like, I got to Google that after you leave, so you don't know what that means.
Franchise disclosure documents.
And you said you had no idea about the vocabulary in a year and how it would shift. But you're quick to say, I'm not alone. I have many people. I have my husband. I have my ESB. I can go to the Cookie College group. I know you asked about all those. Some of your questions.
I think what I'm learning is those you surround yourself with is going to be the pivotal part for your success.
Yes.
Imagine if you did this, no husband, no ESB, no
General
mentor.
manager, no.
I would have failed.
You would have cried. I think we'd have to pick you up off the floor.
Yeah, I don't think I would have opened, let alone gotten through a year. You can't do it alone.
Yeah. And I think as home bakers with the dreams of a brick and mortar, we so feel isolated and alone. And I think we so hold the card so close to our chest because, if someone knows what I'm doing, they might know my imposter syndrome. Yeah. They might know not everything is perfectly aligned like I portray on social media. My picture's great. Me, crumble. I'm falling apart. And that's why I think so many bakers are worried to ever cross over that border because we're so worried that someone's going to look in and maybe judge us when really we could find people who are there just literally to help.
Mm-hmm. I think that's why we're kind of really strict in the comment sections on sugar cookie marketing because you don't know if that one thing that you thought was a joke is going to cause somebody to quit because it is such a lonely. Okay, a lot of people are not extroverts, right? So you say, okay, I don't want to talk to anybody. In fact, I'm going to go to the kitchen and hide. I'm going to go to the kitchen and talk to my mixer. It doesn't talk back. So then you're like, okay, I'm very alone. I don't know what I'm doing here. And then you go to these groups, and I'm sorry, I'm complimenting us real quick. Yeah. You go to these groups, and somebody absolutely drags you. Because Corey's like, when I first got started, I put a picture of the cookie when it was sitting on shred, and everyone called me an idiot. And I was going to stop because I didn't. They were right.
So I didn't know until I got into the groups and saw that too.
So that's why I want to challenge people. And then, the people who listen to the podcast are so gracious and everyone's so nice. But consider does this comment hurt or does it help? And if it hurts, why do I feel the need to do it to this person? Is there a way I can constructively help them instead of teach them a lesson by shame? Yeah. Yeah. And I think that you could make, and you'll never know that little comment you made, how it set somebody up, right? So that's a problem. Is we never see this little seed planted if it does grow into the oak tree. But I can almost guarantee you that little jab is actually causing someone to bleed out.
Oh, sure.
Because it's nerve-wracking
death by
to
a
make
thousand cuts, man.
Yeah. You make a post on Facebook, I'm like, oh no, comment, what is it? Sometimes I post and I go to bed, I'm like, oh, please, Lord, let me wake up to not a lot of notifications. How do you deactivate my Facebook?
The thing is, though, is we are all going to fail. We are all going to make mistakes. I think one thing that really helped me, I remember this moment, is I believe it was either in the group or maybe it was on the podcast. I think Corrie was talking about how she's failed and this happened. She had to refund or something happened, and to go into your phone, into your app's note right now and write out what you would say when you're not emotional to a client to fix it, an instant refund. Guess what? A few months later, that happened to me. And I remember sitting there feeling those emotions and I was like, wait, I have this. I've been prepared for failure this whole time. And that's what I've had to do through this whole entire business too. That didn't work. Okay, it's not about me. It's not showing that I am a bad business owner or anything. It is, this didn't work. Let's take the emotion out of it and let's pivot and figure out what does work. Where is the problem? Let's fix it. Let's take care of the customer and move on and learn.
See, that's huge. And failing, I mean, if you failed, if the one challenge you didn't win, if you're like, oh well, I'm closing up shop, I'm not good enough, it's done, it's over, sell the cutters and everything like that. Failure isn't you're horrible at what you're doing. Failing is I'm learning from something. So next time when I have a same order and the color's a little off, I'm gonna know, like Corrie,
I've learned.
Yeah, I've learned. I can't see purple, so when you order something that's purple, I'm gonna let you know.
Fail upward.
You fail upward. And you not winning, I mean, putting yourself out. You called yourself an introvert.
Yeah.
Putting yourself
out. You hide it very well.
Yeah.
Being in front of a camera is so hard.
Oh, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah. When I went to apply for this last time, like one of the things you have to do for the first part of the application is like film yourself, and they have like a small list of questions like introduce yourself, why do you want to be on, yada yada. And I'm like, I could not bring myself to shoot that video. And I was like, if I can't shoot the video, what am I doing going to Food Network? I've been on it a couple times before. Why can't I shoot a video on my phone at home?
But I want to say that's so reassuring to people listening who I could not imagine. And I told her, I said, I do not see myself ever even applying to be on the Food Network. It would be such an out of a body experience.
It is weird.
It would be wild ride. So weird. And you have to like know stuff. Like I know a recipe.
Yeah, they're going to be like, you're going to be making sugar cookies with banana. And Corrie would be like, listen, I got to go.
There would be a sugar cookie with just a banana on it. That's all I know.
I will say Heather's new goal is to try to find a way to get me onto TV because I refuse to.
I support this
I think she's figured out
whatever support you need from us for the peer pressure.
ESBs, all in. But that's so true. And I think you're right. You're not a failure when something goes wrong in your business. You're not a failure if you didn't bring home, the ornament. Mm-hmm. You're not a failure when you have to refund. And I think we all, as bakers, just because we put so much time, effort, and love into everything, it feels like a bit of a failure. Like, oh man, the voices in the back of my head were right. You know, I wasn't good enough. But
It's
the only
so
person,
easy to give in to those voices.
absolutely.
Right. I think it's interesting, and probably why people liked having Amy on here and you guys, is peeling back the layer of, you know, Amy does have 5 kids.
Yeah.
That's got to be insane. I also have children, and I also think it's insane. But you never, like, you see these bakers with everything put together. You're on TV, you have a brick-and-mortar. She has 5 kids, and they're not cracking at all, so something's wrong with me. But then you get to hear these podcasts, and you're like, oh, that is stressful. FDD, whatever that
She
is.
can't film herself on a phone. I can't make a reel either.
So like, wow, the girl on TV can't film herself. She struggles with that. Because I did a Get Ready With Me the other day. And immediately you were like, what was that?
What was that? I was like, that was out of left field, Julie. No, it's marketing. I'm like, oh, okay, makes sense.
I wonder if we'll do a Get Ready With Me. Other. So yeah, to be able to see, like, we all have our self-doubts. We all have our little demons. I know you think your location's haunted too. Like, all these little things.
They just follow her.
Yeah. Please take them with you.
Take them with you.
I have my cat munch. So we all have these like insecurities, or, you know, not even like the word's going to sound malicious, like deficiencies, things I know I'm not good at.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, as long as no one sees this and ever points it out ever. But in reality, we all have them. And it's like you said, that didn't work for me. I'm going to find something else that works twice as better than that.
Yeah, I know. It was so hard for me to be like, yeah, I messed up a customer's order and I had to refund them. Like, people are going to know I'm not perfect.
Like,
as
so
long as my husband knows.
when I had that happen, it wasn't so hard. I'm like,
Yeah.
I always have in my back pocket the refund.
Yeah.
Love that. I think if more bakers realize that that allocated
Like,
budget
once
line,
you let that
I had
in
to
and you
come-
accept that,
Sure,
like,
I had to
that
come to my
it's
brain
so
that a
much-
refund isn't
such a
negative.
relief.
It's free.
Yes.
It's a get out of jail free card.
Yes.
But here's the thing, and here's what I think you're kind of saying, is having that allocated, listen, I got this refund, it changes your attitude towards the client when that issue arises. It's like, no, I'm going to give you money back. And they're like, no, get your money away from me. I just want to support you. Like, absolutely not. I'm giving it back to you. Like, it becomes this, like, come a place of power.
Yeah.
From a place of control versus from this reactive, scared failure. You're reiterating my deep, dark inner thoughts that I'm not a good person. And now you want your money back, which is physical, monetary proof I suck.
Yeah.
Every time I make an order, I send a picture before pickup. It's just what I do. It usually catches a name spelled wrong, right?
Yeah.
What I do, I say this out loud every single time. I've been baking for years now. I'm pretty confident with what I can do. But when I send the photo, I said, if they hate it, I can refund them. I say to
true.
myself.
Yeah.
I said,
That's your Hail Mary. And send.
and send.
If they hate it, they can get the money back. You know, I always have that in my head. If I get to a networking, I'm a little bit of I gotta extrovert about 2 hours and then go back to introvert, right? And I'm like, if I get there and I don't like it, I can always leave. Like, if you have these little catchphrases, they kind of release you from the I have to. You know, at the end of the day, I'm not sure if you're legally allowed to do this, but if it gets overwhelming, you can go back to what life was before that, maybe in 10 years when your lace is up.
Yeah.
You know,
But
just kind of that. Yeah, go.
That's what I know I'm going to out him. My husband has had a lot of like scary moments, and I'm like, you know, I've had these scary moments before. Let's keep going through. And it's kind of his first scary, like,
Oh, you're seeing
it's
like
not
a
how
baby walk.
I know.
Yes,
and
it's
it's
his
like,
first
you know
scary-
what? Guess what? If all else fails, my parents have a basement.
There you go.
It's
girl.
okay.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
That's a
The backup
thing.
plan.
I love it.
Yes.
Like, you know, at the end of the day, is rock bottom covered with a mattress and a roof over our head? Do we not truly end up on the street? And that allows you, and you might, you know, somebody might be listening, well, I don't have that option. You can make that option for you, which is, you know, as simple as I have a refund budget. I have that option, so if the client is really upset, I don't get the negative review. I get to buy myself more.
But trying, if you didn't make it through round one, discouraging. But you made it more rounds than I did. You know, you made it to round one. Trying something, Beans and Brews. We hope it's here for the next 42 years, you know.
80.
But at the end of the day, if it's not, you still have your cottage bakery to fall back on.
Hey, and I have a lot of beans for the like probably
Yes.
like a few years. Come on.
The goal is to get the beans into Texas.
I will have the coffee no matter what.
Yeah. But without trying, without putting yourself out there, without applying, without taking the video, you're not going to move forward.
Yeah.
But it's comfortable to not move forward.
I
love
couldn't
it.
imagine losing on the food. I couldn't imagine the Food Network. I couldn't imagine losing on the Food Network and then putting my neck out even further and doing it again.
Yeah.
Losing is an operative term because you were on the Food Network.
Yeah.
The best of the worst. Like, and then doing it again, failing, but getting the ornament, which you got this past year.
Yes.
But you wouldn't have gotten it because you
Had
didn't
the
win the
first
first
one
time.
taken you to your knees.
Right.
Yeah.
Had you let that impact how you saw yourself, there would have been no second and third and halftime.
Right. And I mean, I had to do, that's why there's like gaps between. Some of it you're precluded in contracts, like you can't for 6 months or a year sometimes in between shooting because they want, fresh faces and stuff.
Sure.
But
You tell them, look at this face. I got sparkle in my hair.
but I think that's also too for me, like you kind of need to you need to reset and like really think like, do I want it? Because you give your life over to these people for 3 to 5 days, and like
you don't control the
there.
editing.
I was gonna say, and there is almost nothing in your control, except for what you're like making,
And even that,
like just what you do, and yes, there's always twists, right? So there's, but you can kind of go into it knowing like, okay, there's a twist. You can kind of like mentally prepare, like I know there's something coming, but it just. It's hard.
You two. Okay. You two. Have you guys seen Indiana Jones?
Of course.
When he goes to find with the dad and they're trying to find the artifacts in the Temple of Doom. They just going. And then he has to take a walk in the canyon. He can't see that there's a bridge there.
Yes, the faith.
That's you two.
Yeah. Yes.
The walk of faith, right? So he just closes his eyes and takes that first step and then he keeps taking the steps. That's what I say, guys. Just you need Indiana Jones hats for the next podcast.
Yeah. Yes. Also drink out of the ugly cup.
Yes.
The penitent man shall pass. But yeah, it's kind of that, like, you take that first step, and it's exhausting. Like, shoot. Like, and then you have to take the next step, and it's just as exhausting. And then you're like, wow, my whole life has changed. My whole life is in a different place because I took all these miserably exhausting lawyer flying in with gingerbread in my suitcase steps, and now my life is completely changed.
Yes.
I mean, baking, we can say for both of you, has changed your lives.
Yes.
Imagine if you had never picked up the spatchies.
Well, you wouldn't be
Yeah.
sitting here together, I don't believe.
No.
Yeah.
No, not at all. And I mean, like the day that she called me, that was a pretty pivotal day because where would we be now if we didn't have each other?
Isn't it fascinating? Even just listening
My kids
to
would
a
have never gotten
podcast.
to school that day.
Oh yeah, that's right. There was one day over the summer and she's like, I need someone to take the kids to school because her husband wasn't in town. And
I was stuck at the coffee
and
shop with a new trainee.
Yeah, and so like she's going down her list and like everybody's not available. And then she calls me and I'm like, if you're calling me, I know how desperate you are because I don't have kids and she wants me to take her children to school.
Why
Put them
do
in
they
my
act
car.
like we can't drive kids?
High
around?
five.
Yeah.
High five.
Like, I'll pick up your son. We're gonna get there real fast.
I just say to my son, Heather's your new mom, obey her. I don't know what she's going to say, but I said, well, let's go to Karen's store. Let's buy whatever we want. Yeah, no, but it is life-changing, and you're right. Failing isn't necessarily a bad thing, and I think bringing it back to a lot of posts that we all see in the Sugar Cookie Marketing Group, my pre-sale didn't go well, I'm never going to do these again. Okay, your pre-sale for maybe like Mother's Day didn't go well, but don't let that take away from your Christmas pre-sale.
Right.
You know, because you could be stealing from yourself.
Because
We do that.
That's it. I mean, I say I don't do pre-sales, but then I do sell pies and the gingerbread house kits at Christmas, and like yes, those are pre-orders. So like I do, but
She's adjusted it to work for the
right,
brand.
just those two things.
Yeah.
No, I don't do any of the other holidays because
Imagine if Heather said pre-sales don't work, scrap the gingerbread idea.
yeah,
Wild. You would be losing so much money.
yes,
But you would be able to protect your fear that maybe the gingerbreads wouldn't sell because the first thing didn't sell.
right.
I think coming from a place of fear is rough all the way around. It feels safe, but it's actually putting us in the positions of which we fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So when you come from a place of confident power, that didn't work, doesn't mean I'm a loser. That just means that wasn't it. And then trying it again and again. And then finally you guys are like, oh, Beans and Brews and gingerbread house party.
It's mentally separating yourself. I'm sure when you hire people, and it doesn't work out, that can feel like, shoot, I was the one who hired them. What did I do wrong?
Yeah.
No, but at the end of the day, it's not necessarily, you're not that person. So to separate yourself from, this wasn't a good business decision, but I'm not a bad business owner, and I'm going to continue and I've learned from the situation and I'm going to apply it to my next one. I'm sure
It happens with staff. It happens with, I can look at a Wednesday and be like, oh my goodness, I'd make no money this Wednesday. We are going to fail versus, oh, it's just a Wednesday. Saturday it was perfectly fine. Or, hey, what's going on today? Oh, it's raining, cats and dogs outside, and no one's out. No wonder we didn't sell.
Zoom out and look at the entire picture. What affected this? Now, question for you. Not everyone listening is wanting to start a franchise. In fact, not everybody listening knows for sure if they want to keep up their cottage bakery. As an employer hiring employees, what do you look for? What would make somebody be able to land a job with you in that interview process?
It might be confidence about who they are,
I like it.
but also just
We lost one down.
Guys, put on those pretty faces. They know what we look like. They know what we look like. We're like, you do, reverse.
I think it is just kindness, being open and friendly, just having that confidence. I'm here trying my best and putting myself out there.
Does enthusiasm help in the interview process?
It does sometimes.
Okay. Too enthusiastic, we don't like that.
Well, I also have make it or break it questions.
Okay,
I've
let's
learned.
have one.
So my biggest make it or break it question is, how do you deal with conflict with a coworker? And any other response, like I get a bunch of responses of, try to keep my distance and do my work. No, that's going to create a different. We don't want that in our culture. If any other answer besides, I'm going to go talk to them first, I'm not going to take them. I'm not going to hire them.
What if
because you know that the environment shifts, it has a cascade failure effect.
Yeah, figure out your issue. Like, just go talk to them, because most of the time it is a small miscommunication.
Of course. I think when we really zoom out, most people have their own and our best interests at heart. I don't think we all are like, I hope that fails.
What if I said, I will take it out back? Would you
Throw
hire me?
I'd be like, oh, interesting.
I got a mean right hook. Okay, only because I know the equipment's going to start shutting down. I don't want this to cut off mid-sentence because there's no coming back from it. Let's move on to Tell Me About It. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 texts. You guys are going to pick it and also answer the question.
You guys can discuss amongst yourselves.
This is sponsored by Cookie Design Lab, who is running a sale in the next couple of days. You can use code TWIN, save 15% off. And they've added the ability to put text on cutters, which I thought was
text on cutters.
Now, these two are
so
in the
helpful.
Cookie College, and I dropped the digital download kit, but I made the cutters in Cookie Design Lab and labeled.
They're very, very cute. I actually made them and
Labeled in
baked
the
them
color.
up. You're welcome. You're welcome.
So professional.
Okay, so you have 6 to choose from. Discuss amongst.
Okay.
4.
That was. Did you have the twin telepathy right there?
Sometimes we do. I don't know.
You almost have it, dare I say, better than me and twin one over here.
This is so funny. This is written to all 4 of us, actually. So, area code 713. What do we think it's from?
Well,
713?
that's home.
That's
Oh, we know who it is. I'm willing to bet it's Ashley.
Yes.
that is. Did you guys choreograph this?
Hilarious.
Okay, that was random that you picked. Hi, all 4 of my favorite twins. Ashley from Northeast Houston here.
Yep.
All 4 of you ladies are incredibly busy. If each of you had to give just one tip for efficiency, what would it be? Also, Ashley, hilarious. Email me, heather@sugarcookiemorgan.com, not Heather at TheCakeWhisperer. I will hook you up with Cookie Design Lab for a month. And if you guys are listening, they do have that sale. Somebody had said that they couldn't get Cookie Cat to work. Not dogging on Cookie Cat.
Yeah.
They're great.
Oh, I saw that.
But I said, it's not a free trial, but you can do a 5-day trial for $5 or something, a week trial for $5 if you just wanted to test it out. Code TWINS, I think, still works on that.
Yeah, my efficiency tip is grow another twin with you in the womb. We birth at the same time. It's been great. It's been great.
My efficiency tip is SOPs, standard operating procedures. So a lot of people say, how do you run the Vendy Blendy? How do you run these cookie collabs? I use the brain processing power the first time, and then I create an SOP. In fact, with these cookie collabs, since we're being more consistent with them, I created an SOP. I just type in the date of the collab, and it backdates all the tasks I need to accomplish that by the end of the month.
And that is why she is my efficiency person.
I don't like thinking twice.
Okay, what do you guys do? One efficiency tip.
For me, it's organization. Because it starts and ends with organization, kind of standards of practice.
Louder for the beat.
Says the planner.
Yes, exactly, right? Yeah. So at the beginning of every week, I go and I look at all my orders. I'm like, okay, what do I need to order from Amazon? Do I need to go get more boards? What do I need to go buy from the grocery store? Here's the photos that come with it. Here's what the person is, when it's picked up, and like the details, the rest of the details of the order, so that I know. And that comes from my bakery days when I had like tickets, and that's what I was working off of.
Yeah.
So now it's just, and I tape it to my cabinet right above where I'm doing all of my work, so I see it all week long, and I know, except for that one time where it was spelled correctly on the sheet, and my brain did not.
The brain
click
does
it.
weird things.
I know.
Thought Isaac was spelled one way. It is definitely not.
And me, I would say to-do lists, like write out each step as you're doing it. So in the future, you know each step, but also refine. So Tuesdays are my baking days. I wanted it to be on Mondays.
Yeah.
It never worked on Mondays. Refine it and be okay with it.
Yeah.
If it's not working, recognize it and figure something else
I
out.
like
To
that.
that one, people were like, sometimes I look and I'd be like, I'd love to organize your house. And I was saying that to my boyfriend. I'd love to organize your house. And he was like, well, you're going to just throw everything away. I said, no, I'd actually like to watch how you interface with your house and see how it could be optimized. Because if you throw something away that somebody's using, you've not optimized. You've created chaos. You may have cleaned it, but you've cleaned chaos. So yeah, it's kind of that seeing what works, what you hope for. Be like, that probably wasn't it. So I'm going to try again and see if I can adjust, instead of changing who Kim is as a core person, changing what's around Kim so that Kim can be her true happy self.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, here's another question. This is really a question directed to me because I know what this is about. Per the Cookie Collab, which is actually this Thursday. You guys participating?
One set of cookies is baked and ready. Just need to do
You're
photos
right.
and go to Beans and
So-
Brews. The other one I gotta decorate
good.
and like do everything on Wednesday when we get back home.
My backstory for the Cookie Collab, it is on this Thursday, which is Thursday. That's not a Friday. That was a typo. That was me being okay with being imperfect. But it is intentionally shifted from 10 a.m. Eastern to 11 a.m. Eastern so that our West Coasters can not have to wake up early and see my loving face. That is the Main Street Cookie Collab. Somebody yesterday in the cookie marketing group said, how can I get corporators? And I said, repeat this until it works.
Yeah. Wash, rinse, repeat.
What's funny is Corrie picked Graffiti Cat Pizza. They listened to it on the podcast. They went to Cat Pizza.
We
So
were
it works.
influenced to go to Occoquan.
It works. Did you guys end up eating there?
We didn't. I got gelato there
Yes.
Yeah.
because we were waiting on the table at the Secret Garden.
Yeah. I've actually never been to Secret
Was that
Garden.
good?
What?
It was delicious.
It's a secret.
It
I
was
can't find it.
It was.
Wait, question. Is it only outside seating?
No, it's indoors and outdoors.
Yeah.
And
You have to go up the staircase.
yes,
Yes,
that's what
I
my mom
did
said.
see
I was like,
this.
I can't find this secret place called Secret Garden. She was like, it's up a staircase. I was like, of course. So anyways, that collab is on Thursday. Now, Corrie is so funny. We talked about it. She's going to feature this Graffiti Cat Pizza. But over the weekend, the owner found the cookie that his employee had taken and made the whole post thanking Corrie, Mixing Bowl Cookie Company.
And tagged me and everything.
He beat us to the punch. He's going to be thrilled with Thursday.
Yeah.
When she features the company. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to the events tab in the Sugar Cookie Marketing Group. I've actually already posted the templates of which you said thank you because you're out of town. Turns out you're here.
Yes. Well,
And-
and I've already scheduled it. We were doing
Already
this last night. I scheduled, like, typed it all out. I don't have the photos yet, but that's in the
that's
draft. Now all I have to do is go add the
Oh,
photos.
yeah. Perfect.
The question from this great user 662 says, per the Cookie Collab, I noticed you all do not respond to any comments on your own collab post until it's over. Is there a strategy behind that? No, I was actually in a therapy session, so I got out at an hour later.
Here's the thing. You can only make so many comments. What my goal is for the collab is I want to go through and make sure I'm commenting on everything everybody else's first.
Participants.
So I can make sure that they're getting just as much juice because they're doing the same for me.
But this is such a strategy. After we do what we're required by law, which means that I post a photo and then go engage with these other people who will have very interesting write-ups for their collab features, I'm going to go back to my post and reply to each comment in a way that makes people come back.
Yeah.
Because, again, this is a two-for thing. We want to help other bakers. It's cool to see what other people are doing. But I also want my post to reach the maximum amount of people. Now, this is called manufactured engagement. The fact that Heather from talent, turns out she now likes Graffiti Cat Pizza, but before yesterday, she's coming and saying, Corrie, that's crazy. I can't wait to try it in an imaginary world where they're not here. She's never going to be here necessarily to try it this week. Maybe one day we live in Washington, D.C. The other half is that Corrie's audience who does live here will be like, I can't wait to try Graffiti Cat Pizza. And then Mr. Graffiti Cat Pizza is like, Corrie, that was doing so well. I did see a spike in people coming. I mean, literally, they've gotten 2 more.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all right here. And he can say that. So what we want to do and what I encourage everyone to do is for that hour, engage with the other bakers. But then, at any time throughout that day, go back to your comments and comment back to the other bakers. Now, you're going to know when it's another baker.
Yeah.
You're going to know when the local's like, I love that place. And
When
then
it's
a
Cookie
baker-
Code, Texas Co. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
But you're not local.
Not down the street, but we'd love to see you. And then say, yeah, I love this pizza. In fact, my favorite is anchovy or something weird to kind of keep that engagement. And then I could say, have you ever been to DC? If you have, what are some places you've checked out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's how we want to get that post. Because every comment, every interaction, every like, every reply, every time somebody returns to that post, it signals like, this is something about this post is pretty good.
Yeah.
Something about this post is keeping people on this platform.
Yeah.
Let's show this post to more of Corrie's Graffiti Cat Pizza audience, local.
Yes.
And that is a strategy behind that. So that Cookie Collab, thank you so much for texting in, 662. What do you guys think the area code's from?
662? Oh, I think in Montana.
You always pick Montana.
I
I do feel it's like out west though.
Out west.
So funny.
I don't know.
I did a
Georgia.
Were you?
Georgia.
I don't know.
I
right?
think it seems peachy.
Mississippi.
Oh!
How far?
Got it. Yeah.
One day will it be?
Sorry, I
Montana?
did a Montana roll call and nobody commented on
Yeah.
it.
I don't know why my heart is in Montana. Maybe I was watching Yellowstone.
Okay, if you guys want to text into the podcast, it's 571-556-5644. One day I'm going to just give my own phone number. I know I'm going to accidentally say that wrong.
I don't even have hers memorized.
Yeah. And if you want to win a month of Cookie Design Lab, who is also back for the Vendy Blendy, when should we start talking about the Vendy Blendy on the podcast?
When does that
When
chaos
should
need
the
to
segment
start?
come back to the newsletter? Votes?
Well, we're almost in September.
We
I
are.
would say September,
Yeah.
mid-September.
Yeah.
Okay. For those Vendys who have gotten in my inbox, which I love seeing from you, I will send out first to the past vendors. We always let them have first right of refusal.
Yeah.
Remember, we had the Vendy Awards last year where people who showed out Vendys get an extra post this year. First time we've done this. And then I will open it up to new vendors.
Yeah.
New Vendys. Baptism by Vendy Blendy.
Ooh.
The Vendy Blendy this year, we'll talk about it more in mid-September, voted by the current consensus. Is on Black Friday. It is a single day of sales. In fact, it costs you nothing to participate. You're actually given 25% off or maintaining that 25% off. Is that a good discounted?
They're like, no, we like 100%.
I think we should really raise it. We give 25% off. The vendors actually give 25% off. And they actually pay us to give 25% off. Now, we don't keep that money as much as I'd love to go to season 52 for the rest of my life. We put it into a pool that is these big door prizes, which last year I took a poll. I was like, hey, what does everyone think we should do this year during the roasted toast?
Yeah.
And she was like, a Freddie. I was like, girl.
Sit down.
Last year we gave away
You asked.
You did. I did. We gave away 10 Bosch mixers
Yeah.
by compliments of the Vendys pulling that money together, and then each vendor has the option to give themselves
it
a
was
door prize.
great. It was chaotic.
It was
Loved
chaos.
It.
I mean,
Loved
that's the beauty of it. If you're overwhelmed and crying, did you really have a good time? If you're like, what was this? So yeah, that will be a one-day only event. We'll definitely, don't worry about it. If you haven't heard of it, you're gonna.
It's
You're gonna be
coming.
sick of it. Now, okay, quiz question. Let's move into the sponsors, ladies. Do the sponsors.
Someone take.
By memory.
We shall help.
So, Primera
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
has Eddie, the edible fruit printer.
Yes.
Now, do either of you guys have an Eddie?
Yes, we
both
both
do.
do.
You have
And
two between you?
she has one and I have
Yeah,
one.
right.
And in fact, we're going to be using them simultaneously at an event in October. We're both
No
going to
way.
be doing cookie photo booth.
Ashley,
Yes.
Ashley. Heather, because your name is mine, but I think your name is Anna. Heather taught a Facebook Live in the Cookie College on that photo booth software. Regrettably, I missed that email where she said, can you stop getting people to email me about it and post it to a central location, which I did.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that timestamp is over a month old. Yeah, okay, go on. Code, discount code.
Twins.
No, for Eddie, there's
Now, somebody did ask this in the group this past week. They said, is there a discount code for Eddie? Now, the first, everyone's like, no. Actually, there is. It's a military discount, and it is 5% off, which is $150, said a lady in the comment section who
That's
was able
a
to redeem
that's
that.
a whole
good-
printer cartridge. Right
Yeah,
there.
there
yes.
you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, next up.
Bakety Bake.
Got it.
Royal Batch.
Big Royal Batch.
Now, is that a meringue powder you use? What do you use?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, you guys use baking
Uh-huh.
I made her.
Influenced. We're influenced.
Well, it's
It took me a long time, but I finally
did.
got there.
now that's code twins save 10%. I'm gonna try to get her back to the vending blade. We can all.
Yeah, because I need to stock
That's
up
when I
all the
shop.
time.
Yep, it's Vendy Bloody.
Okay. Yeah, that's the one where everyone's like that. Get out of my way.
You know when you kind of wait and you're like, ooh, my bag's a little empty, but I think I can make it till November.
November.
Yeah.
Okay, next up. This is pretty good. I'm putting you on the spot.
I used to know all of
I'm
them.
going to give you,
mixed up now.
this is new because I'm new to the cake pop world. Daisy makes.
Daisy makes.
Oh, Daisy
Yeah.
makes.
So she makes cake pop molds. Cake pops, this wild, wild world. It's both cookies and cakes.
Do you guys do cake pops? Cake pops? No. Cookie
I
line?
do them, but I do not enjoy them.
Listen, they don't enjoy you either. They do not. But this Daisy Makes actually makes them a little bit easier. So the standard used to be this big old balls on a stick.
Mm-hmm.
They'd fall off. You'd start screaming, crying, gnashing, throwing up, things like that. Now it's these cake pucks. So it almost is like a cookie cutter shape. You cut it out, you put it on a tray, you stick a stick in there. It's not half as heavy. So you have to me, it's if you wanted to get into cake pops, it's the beginner step that would really make the difference.
But honestly,
so
you could
quit.
keep it the whole time because those shapes are so cool.
And then people are doing
Yes.
I used to donut one, and I turned it into just like a chocolate chip one.
That was so
ones
cute.
that are
It was a
cookie.
good one.
Thanks for lifting me up because I sweated the whole time.
Okay, Cookie Design Lab we've already covered. Code TWINS, 15% off.
Yeah.
Very, very nifty. If you got the Bamboo A1 Mini that your twin assembled and you never turned on,
That's me.
the only one that gave you a year code. And she was
I gotta do it.
And then last is Baking Me Crazy, which is also a Vendy from the Vendy
Yeah.
Vendy, who's back this year. Favorite twin saves 10% off. So Cookie Design Lab, Baking Me Crazy, Royal Badge, Stacey Makes, Eddie, and then Bosch is actually an affiliate. If you want to use a code Sugar Cookies in the Cookie College, we gave away a Bosch, and I used my own affiliate code.
I know.
Your girl is
Smart.
strategic.
Working smart.
I do think, and I'm not allowed to tell as a Bosch affiliate, that they run a decent Black Friday.
They do.
Yeah.
I do have a question for you guys. We missed this segment. What is the Cookie College?
So, as someone who has been in from hour one and
Hour one.
it is a
Oh, I'm
amazing.
so sorry. The Sugar Cookie Marketing Group's birthday is also in October.
Oh, it is.
So
yes.
at the same time.
It's a great month.
It was a big October.
Yeah. So it is a step-by-step how to be the best business baker in marketing and your business that you can be. It has a group of bakers as well that are just as supportive as the Sugar Cookie Marketing Group, but we are all honed in on making this business a reality and making it the best thing that we have.
Are you sure you're not Corey? Because you're sounding a hell of a lot.
We're holding. They can't see. We got this giant script. She's reading off.
Go on.
So you know how we have our local groups? If you don't have that, the Cookie College is a great place to find like-minded people that are just super supportive. You have a problem, you come in, somebody's going to know the answer.
Yeah.
And our roomies, which I was the first one to say it. Which
You.
is funny. I was.
Winged it.
You
Yes.
give a roomie's vibe.
Yeah.
I should have seen it.
And then I took off and I was like, oh, I did not mean for this to.
Oh, it's a thing, bro. It's a thing.
The whole
Our
college
roomies.
dormitory. We should do what is it called when you try to get people to join your little
Sorority.
Sorority.
The Bama Rush.
The rush
wear
hazing.
clothes and learn how to dance and choreography. But yeah, that's the Cookie College. You can check that out. It'll also be Vendy at the Vendy Blendy. I feel like it's too soon to be pitching.
Well, you're the only one pitching it. We didn't even bring it up. Yeah. Okay, you guys have a twinterest.
We do. So we've thought long and hard about this.
Okay.
So mine is going to be where we're actually staying, the Omni.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
Omni?
I get a text from them last night. They got beautiful.
Hey, that's kind of a...
Oh, sorry.
Yes, yeah, go ahead.
We're getting there. We're getting there. So ours is our hotel, the Omni
Shoreham.
Shoreham.
It's spelled Shoreham.
Yeah.
But it was built in the 30s. It is gorgeous. The lawns, the gardens are beautiful. It has that 30s vibe. Even the elevators, they were like fast elevators, but they're teeny tiny from the 30s.
oh, yeah.
They're original. Like he wanted them to be fast ones.
Crazy.
A little haunted. You know.
Hey, girl,
Bring
I
that.
think that's you. I think that's you.
It was an accident, but I was like, this place has to be haunted. I got to look it up. And she's like, don't look it up.
Oh, it is
I'm
haunted.
looking it up.
Oh, that's
Just a little bit. One room.
There was definitely a demon in our air conditioner.
That was true.
Was it going cold or was it going hot?
It was working. It was just making it sound like there was a jackhammer in our room.
Yeah,
We
good.
could not have a conversation without like yelling at
We went
each
to the
other.
pool, came back, and we were from the hall. We were like,
Oh no.
Did you mention it?
Oh yes, we did. And we went out to dinner and we came back and it was fixed.
so
They
they are
said,
wonderful.
Tame demon, tame.
Yes.
Yeah. So please exercise that while we're
Yeah.
gone.
Exercise it or exercise?
I looked at the hotel for cocktail napkins. What monument are you close to? Because you're in DC.
The National Cathedral.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Spooky.
Yes.
And
And it's a very cute town. Like we walked to dinner the other night.
Yeah,
where'd you
there's
guys
lots of
go?
restaurants.
Where's
It was just a
Sushi place.
sushi place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, DC is a land of quiet foodies
Yes.
and low buildings. If you can
And that's
see
a high
that.
threshold for us because Houston is just a huge food mecca. We have
Yes.
melting pot. There's so many different
Oh,
varieties
really?
of food
Oh,
there.
then
Yes.
you fit right in DC.
Yeah.
That's
yes.
everything. Okay, twinterest for you.
Okay, so my Pinterest is from last night. We got a dessert and we ordered it off the menu, and we had to do this for research purposes, of course, because when we saw it, we
Yeah,
were like,
absolutely.
what is this and why is it called this?
Yeah.
So it was chocolate fondant. And that was it. There was no cake or anything attached.
You just
to
thought
so
it was going to be just this layer of...
Yeah, we were just a bucket of sad nice.
So we looked it up, and the pronunciation for it is fondant, chocolate fondant. It's French from fondue, so melting. So chocolate melting. What do you think it is?
It's a hot chocolate waffle.
It's a chocolate lava cake.
Oh, no way!
That's a fancy way to say
So,
Outback's chocolate lava cake.
Right, exactly.
Doing pronunciations and all that. So, the stuff that us bakers use is fondant.
Yes.
And then chocolate fondant. And you don't even say the T. That
I'm
was
going to be
the-
honest. When I felt fancy, I would call fondant. I didn't know they were
Turns
different
out
things.
you're selling chocolate lava cake. Now, I know you guys said you had questions for us.
Yes.
Okay.
So
First one.
Let's pick like
I'm
3
sweating.
questions.
Remember what we gave you. Okay. Who's your favorite ESB?
As my mother would say, I'm not going to pick between you both. I love you both equally.
Diplomatic answer. Okay, let's see. What was
Really? You guys are the same person to me twice.
do you consider yourselves famous?
No.
No, I don't. I do not.
This is so funny. Okay, in this area, you're not allowed to talk about anything but work. So if you meet a stranger, they're always like, and how was traffic? Terrible. What do you do for work? And I'll be like, I said, you don't think this exists. But there's an entire subset of an industry, of a subset of an industry, of a subset where sugar cookie bakers get together to learn how to sell cookies online. And they're like, is this a cover for your OnlyFans? I'm not flexible enough for that. But I like to tell people because they just can't fathom that the internet truly is the ability to find these micro niches
Yes.
and just really make friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So people are like, you have no friends. I said, actually I have 50,000 of them. So try that again.
Yeah.
All right, you pick one.
Okay. Explain to us your ideal dream vacation.
Okay, ideal dream vacation. I don't know.
Sleeping the whole week.
Yeah. Okay, this is just on my list. Is it ideal? I'm not a traveler, right? But I do want to go on a cruise with clear water.
I could see her antennas just
Clear water cruise.
Yes.
And just like the nice little beach.
I was sending you videos from when I was on that last cruise. I was like, oh my gosh, Corrie just needs to be here.
I don't want to get lost and be taken into a faraway land. I want to be on a boat.
No excursions.
No excursions.
We didn't do any excursions.
Oh, good.
On
That's
either
good.
of the cruises, I didn't do any,
That would be
any
me.
excursions.
And I know that's quite a boring thing for me to say. It's who I am. It's who I am.
Surround Corrie with a crab leg and a white sheet.
In a bed. And I'm good to go.
Took a fork in her, she's done.
Okay, can your face open the other's phone?
No.
We tried it.
Oh,
In fact, I
tried.
asked an IT guy and he said if that was even possible, there's a massive security flaw. So
I have
we're
tried
dabble.
many a times. No. Yeah, whatever's in the iris is
Don't worry,
throwing
I'm
it
sure
off.
she's trying to I'm sure she's printing off a picture of her husband and using the picture to unlock his phone.
Oh, I would.
I should. You guys have an open phone policy.
We do have an open phone policy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Okay.
this brainstorming over there.
It's making me nervous though.
Where are you hoping SCM goes? The Cookie College, or are you just letting it grow wild, see where it ends?
It's a great question. For the Cookie College, you always gotta keep upping the ante because I would love everyone to never graduate. I would love y'all to be flunks. That said, we gotta keep adding kind of new and interesting stuff. So we're working on maybe stuff more for the beginner baker, like pricing, how to get that knocked out. Working on some STL stuff, a little bit more of a unique design. And then incorporating more. I think we redid the digital downloads for the 5th time,
Those look great.
Right. I can't. And now I'm finally found peace with the digital download offer. So I think it's that. And then with the Sugar Cookie Marketing Group.
To me, that's always going to be a great starting point for someone. I want it to be a friendly place for new people to come, and it never feels like, oh, look, it's the OGs. I don't fit in. I'm not. I want it to be welcoming for people who, a lot of bakers come in and out of the industry. They have a kid, they take a few years break. I want this to be a place where they can land back in. And they're like, wow, what did I miss? Let me know. And they never feel ostracized.
Corey and I said if somebody took a 2 years break and they came back, would they still find the place to be a knowledgeable resource to get questions answered? Now you're the slave to the algorithms. And you're also the slave to the atrophy of being around for a long time, especially in a digital landscape that loves transience and new and fresh. So it is moving into this, having guests on the podcast. I think this is a fresher face, and obviously the views reflect that. So, like we said, it's not like they hate our faces. It's like introduce something new, have more people on here, maybe get more into YouTube. So it's kind of like that. What are you guys' thoughts? Thoughts?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you guys are keeping it fresh. I mean, redoing the digital downloads, that's helped keeping that fresh.
I actually love that SEM is constantly changing and evolving. So we might have our own little like side things like Greg Erical and all of that. But we keep coming up with new things. And it's going to reflect for anyone. You can, because even me, I'm not on Facebook as much as I used to be, but I can still jump in and see what's going on, and I know what's going on and feel that warmth and love all the time.
Oh, it's good.
I like the home base. I like to be like, okay, come as you go, pick what out you need, head on back, take it in, implement it. And when I say like a baker goes dark, I'm like, that one's implementing it. Like they got busy because it worked.
Yeah.
Like, and then they're like, okay, guys, you know, I see that like, coming up for air.
Sorry, I haven't been around in a minute. It's been a while.
And that's the goal. Really, the goal is, and I hate to say this, the goal is that you learn so much you don't need it anymore. But I would like to think you move into this kind of, you know, interesting one. And there's brick and mortar owners there. It's not as obviously pervasive as cottage bake, but at least you have somebody to ask. And like Mike Skyring and, you know, Vanessa, they're all there. You all fight in battles. You all go dark. You guys are gasping, but there's that resource, that touch point. Like, shit, can anyone not move it?
Yeah. I do want to say, I know that this podcast, whoever's listening, they have probably 2 million more questions for you guys.
Right.
So can they at you in the Sugar Cookie Marketing Group and ask you some more questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your name on there?
Just like
HCB.
my personal Heather Campbell, Brookshire.
Yeah.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah, Heather Campbell, Brookshire, and she's the one who's been on Food Network. So if you're like, I would really want to, what were they looking at when you made the video? What did you do to like set yourself apart? She's definitely the one to ask.
She's also taught some Facebook Lives that are now archived on YouTube. And now I call you Kim M. Sims. That's not your name.
Yeah.
But it's off the top.
It's Kim DeMille Sims.
Yes.
Right.
And if you're wondering, is brick and mortar, if that's something that I want to do, if taking out going to the SBA alone, what is involved in that? I know you did that Facebook Live. It was so informational, just to like almost peel back the onion layers of your brain.
Like, oh, shoot, that was
but to show you like it can be done, but it's not this walk in the park either. You know, you made it look easy, unfortunately.
Here's my biggest thing about Kim. I was like, would you do it again? And she's like, do it again. I'm opening up a second. Like it's not like, would I do it again? It's of course I would. And I do it twice and 3 times and 4 times. Like, and that means you like it. That means it was rough. But you're like, this is mine.
But you earned it. Like the stripes are yours.
So that was a good one. I think this is a blast. Let me ask you guys. I'm trying to get the YouTube channel, but I want to do interviews from remote. Like you guys don't have to fly out here. Would you be open to be the guinea pig to be on the YouTube channel? Maybe even as a live, of which I've never done a YouTube live. But people could ask you these questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that would be fun.
Writing, notarized, and microphones.
Little tiny ones.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be. I think it's very fun. Of course, obviously.
Listen, it's been 3 years. I'm boring. Okay, no more news stories.
Let's like infuse some new, interesting perspectives. And I frankly love to hear it. So I'm sure everybody else does.
I know. We could probably talk for 52 more hours. I got like 1 bazillion questions.
And
but
we will at lunch.
Okay,
so everyone say goodbye to the podcast.
Goodbye,
we can only see them.